I live in Anglesey, but most of my cheap flights end up going from London. So yeah, getting to the airport and parking, it's a nightmare and budget killer, unless you're me. So here's a new problem I haven't really talked about much. The expense of the airport, in particular car parking. Now here's the issue. Cheap flights often mean stupid o'clock departures. We're talking you've got to be through security 4, 5 a.m. So you start thinking about parking near the airport and you start thinking about a hotel. Bear in mind I live in Anglesey. I'm 5 hours from the airport I fly the most from, which is Luton. So what's the point of doing both? Your head's going to barely touch the pillow and you've just spent 80 quid to panic nap next to a vending machine. So, over the years I've come up with some interesting solutions. Classic example, when we went to Marrakesh, Suin and I had to fly from Gatwick and we were flying at 6 a.m, which meant security 4 a.m. at the latest. If I'd taken the package that included hotel and parking, the cheapest one meant sleep in the hotel, then move the car in the morning. So you're talking, it would not have been worth sleeping in the hotel. Right. So what we did was, we did go with the airport parking, but we booked to get there the night before. You know what's coming next. We slept in the car.
Why are we sleeping in the car, Dad?
Because our flight's really early in the morning and I don't think it's sensible to pay for a hotel that you're going to be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, because you're effing cheapskate. I will pay for a hotel for your favourite child.
And that as well.
Yeah, we got about 3 hours kip, woke up, went through security, had a pint at the airport, and had a bit more sleep on the plane to Marrakesh. Got there late morning, and we'd have the equivalent of a night's sleep, and not stumped up for a hotel. But you're still talking the expense of the airport parking. It's getting on these days, not far shy of £150 for a week. You know what, Suin still talks about that experience. Mostly to her therapist, but she's still going on about it. And I started coming up with daft hacks when I first started this travel journey. When me and Book went to Tokyo, we had a similar dilemma. The flight was 9 a.m. We were flying from Heathrow. I was starting from Wrexham, picking Book up in Birmingham. Really didn't fancy the hotel, but there was an added twist here. Because of the time difference, we'd have slept in a hotel, got on a plane at 9 o'clock, been wide awake and had to stay awake for 12, I think it's 14 hours. We'd have got to Tokyo, our bodies would have felt like it was 11 o'clock at night, we'd have been ready for bed, when in reality it was late morning. So how did I dodge the hotel on this one? This one was a bit more painful. I will be doing it again. It's called pre-jetlagging. We got down to Heathrow, stayed awake all night, got on the plane looking like this, bang. As soon as the thing took off, complimentary small bottle of wine, I was out. In fact, I would say I was unconscious for a big chunk of that flight. But the reality was, we had slept when we needed to sleep. By the time we were in Tokyo, we'd had plenty of sleep and were able to enjoy that first day without going to the hotel and going straight to bed. Well worth it. It got us an extra 3/4 of a day in Tokyo. Now when you consider the price per day of being in Tokyo, that was well worth doing. And we're on Japan time for the rest of the week. No jet lag. However, bit extreme. Wandering around Heathrow, pre-security, there's not a lot you can do other than drink coffee, which isn't conducive to sleeping. So let's look at some of the other creative options you can do. Park in a different city. For example, you can park in Birmingham for a pittance. Then you get a FlixBus to London from as low as a £5 each. And I'm not sure about other cities, but Birmingham, it seems to have one at least every hour. Peak times every half hour. It's a way round it, but you've still got to factor in getting from London to the airport you're choosing to fly from. And like all cities, that's where they get you. Now, of course, not all of you live a long way from an airport. I would say anything more than 3 of you for a journey of less than 30 miles, you're probably easier to get a taxi. Pre-book or get an Uber at the last minute. They're not as expensive as they used to be. I just can't. I can't bring myself to pay top dollar for someone else to drive me, but that's me. I also live nowhere near an airport. Now this one's a bit old school, but it works. Pay a mate or family member. And I don't mean in hugs, I mean offer them a tenner or promise to return the favour. Now, I actually learnt this from a few of my colleagues at work. I work with a lot of Eastern Europeans, and they obviously they go home regularly to see family and friends. So they tend to take it in turns between themselves to do the airport run for a couple of quid extra, maybe bring them back some duty free, whatever. And that can be a really low cost way of dealing with it, because you're not paying airport parking, you're not paying a hotel. Yes, you are paying double the fuel cost to a mate, but you can return the favour for them. The more often you return the favour, the more competitive prices get. This of course assumes you have friends. So if you do end up wanting to stay in a hotel and get parking, make sure you do this one way out. But when we flew from Stansted to go to Stockholm, we were able to stay at the Holiday Inn Express. Because we'd booked it well in advance, we were able to snag a parking slot at the hotel. Yes, it was a little bit dearer, but God, it was worth it. There was no rushing around in the morning to take your car to the off-site parking. You just literally parked at the hotel, got on the shuttle bus straight to the flight. I would pay extra to do that again. But when you're only going for a weekend, you're talking that 3-day parking ended up costing me, including a hotel for 3 of us, ended up costing me just over £100. There has to be a cheaper way. So let's look at my new plan. I'm going to use Luton as an example because it's the one I fly the most often from. And because I've done this already, I've got a rough idea how it works. Now, the beauty with Luton is the local bus service is really cheap from Luton town centre. You're talking £1.60. Negligible, isn't it? It's hardly worth thinking about. And it takes you right to the gate. Well, not the gate, the actual departures. Now, I use JustPark a lot. So bear in mind, if you're going for a week, you are looking at spending... You're lucky to get it for less than £120 for a week using official airport parking. So you've got a budget of £120 to play with. Now, I use JustPark a hell of a lot. Let's see what they're coming up with. Now, this is the first time I've used it on the PC. I normally use it on the app. I'm going to type in Luton City. Don't put in airport because it will fill you full of all the specialists. And I'm going to set a date, late September, for a week. Let's go Saturday to Saturday. And in order to maintain my integrity and authenticity, I'm doing this for the first time, so I've got no idea how cheap or expensive it's going to be. But I do know a week's parking at one of the airport hotels at Luton is about 120. Wow. Power Court, long stay station and airport car park. There you have it, black and white, £38 for a week. That is unbelievable. But that's not the full story. We need to work out how we're going to get from Power Court, long stay station and airport car park to the airport, because it might not be on this bus route. If you're really stingy, you can walk it in 46 minutes. It's a 9-minute walk to the main bus depot in the centre of Luton, which means you'll get that £1.60 bus. So let's say there's 2 of you, £1.60 each way, £3.20, £6.40 plus £38. You're down to £44. That is £80 cheaper. And I'm pretty sure you can work that for any city in the UK. I know for a fact Birmingham, the connections from the city to the airport are dead easy, and there is loads of JustPark sites around the NEC. Why am I saying the NEC? Because you can get that free shuttle to the airport. I should imagine Manchester would be similar. In fact, Manchester's not as good for this sort of thing. However, horses for courses. Why not try it? So basically, airport parking doesn't have to bankrupt you. If you are going to go with the more conventional route, book as far in advance as you can, and don't forget to use Quidco because you will get cash back. Consider the sleeping in a car. I'm sure Suin's forgiven me and she would probably do it again if she was getting a cheap holiday. Bear in mind that holiday cost me £100. I wasn't about to blow 80 quid of it on a hotel. Suin will complain again, but she soon forgets it when she gets to warm sunny Marrakesh. If you've got a better airport hack, or funnier, a worse airport story, let me know in the comments. If you want more money saving tips, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Saturday morning, and Ian's got your back.